Hey guys, it's January 2022, and I don't know how the snow conditions are where you are, but they really suck here. We got a foot of snow, nice fluffy stuff, and then 50-mile-an-hour winds for 3 days. So our lake conditions are terrible. We've purchased this to try and fix that problem. This is a awkward size of a package to ship. You can see that it's a 63-inch wide groomer, very well built, nice and stout metal. And when they ship it, they wrap this split loom around as a protector. You can see a little bit of wear and tear, but I'm not worried about that because we're probably going to be banging this thing off of stumps as we tow it through our trails. A few little scuffs and shipping isn't a big deal, but well put together product. This is the accessory pack. There's not a whole lot to this stuff that has to get bolted on. Packing peanuts don't particularly like, but we've got, especially in a breeze, those put away so they don't blow all over the place. Happy Trails personal snow groomers are built in Southern Ontario, Canada. I seriously thought about building a groomer. I'd seen these mentioned on Louie Skeebo's channel, Power Mods, and he made the point that for the price of this, you would be hard-pressed to buy the steel and then come up with 3 different versions to finally get one that works. Why not just order one that's going to do the job for you? Very simple assembly. We've got a guide plate that needs to get bolted on here, and the guide plate is going to help keep the groomer aligned behind the snowmobile, and also it's going to lift the packing tray up off the road whenever we drive over a little bit of pavement. There's a couple of chunks of pavement that we'd have to cross with this groomer getting where we want to go, and that should be more than adequate. If you had to haul it down several miles of road, there is a wheel kit that's available for it. Get our shipping tabs unbolted. We've got a couple more straps here that need to come off that hold the hitch down to the unit. This goes around to the front. This cellophane wrap is a little bit of a pain to deal with when you don't get quite the right end at the beginning, but we'll make it work. For our guide plates, they bolt on at the back here. Take a washer, a bolt, another washer, and an eye lock nut. And it's best to put the nuts on the inside so that you've got the smallest amount on the outside to catch things as you go down the trail. The hardware here is just zinced, so you might get a little bit of corrosion on it. But it's nice heavy hardware, so it's not like it's going to rot off. You might want to make sure that you squirt a little oil on it if you're going to be grooming over salty snow on a regular basis. Nice and tight. Attaching the hitch is fairly straightforward. Use longer bolts this time. And again, washer under the head of the bolt and under the nut. That's a little bit stiff, but we'll just put the impact on it and it'll buzz through. Washer and nut. Now we don't want to overdo the tightening on these bolts, because if we do, we'll end up pinching the hinge point, and then it'll make the hinge stiff where we want it to be able to move freely. That's just about perfect. Now I've taken that in just so that we've got a good solid thread sticking through the nylock nut. And now we're up to the one kind of tricky part of this assembly process. And it's not that it's that terribly tricky, it's just something you got to be aware of. And we've got our adjuster here, which is basically just a ratcheting lever binder type of for tensioning. And the reason that they've chosen to use this is it's a nice stout thing. You can kick it, you can whack it with a hammer if it gets frozen up, and you're not going to break anything. Where the trickiness comes in is, rather than putting the washer under the head of the bolt, what you do here is put it on the inside. Set those so they're about even. And we want to leave that so it's got a little bit of slack. Here we've got 4 adjusters, and we don't want to put the lower mount in place yet until we get this thing laying flat on the ground behind the snowmobile with somebody sitting on the seat, and see where we need to set it for our height. We're at the point that's going to take a little bit of experimentation to find out what works best. And the instructions say to basically set this up so that when someone's sitting on the back or sitting on the seat of the sled, that everything's sitting level. And we're sitting here with a little bit of adjustment, and basically we can, on the lowest setting here, we can make that work. I suspect that as we experiment with this thing and try it out, grooming some trails, that we're probably going to end up either here or here and have some kind of lift on this groomer. But for now, we'll start off in the front hole, and we'll take a couple of wrenches with us so that we can adjust it when we're out trying this thing out. Put the washer between the actuator and the tab that it attaches to. Lift up a little bit. Other washer in here. Okay. Snug this up a little bit. And that is a good place to start. Well, now it's time to get dudded up in the rest of our snowmobiling gear and take this thing out and see how it cuts. case it wasn't completely obvious throughout the video, this was not a sponsored video from Happy Trails Groomer. I paid full retail price for this unit plus shipping to get it up to Northwestern Ontario, and I'm quite happy with my purchase. The Groomer works fantastic. It has greatly improved our trail, and we probably will make a few more passes. Hopefully the snow conditions will improve as the winter goes on. Thanks a lot for stopping by. Hey, you might want to subscribe to this channel. We got some more ideas, some modifications we're going to make to this Groomer. Just some small stuff, not anything that's going to affect the overall function of the unit. But having a shovel along sure would be handy, and I'd like to have some lights for after dark grooming. Anyways, appreciate you stopping by. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, all that wonderful stuff, and we'll catch you guys in the next mess.